Hello everyone! Today's question is, what is absolute? The concept of the absolute is most closely associated with German idealism, thinkers such as Friedrich Schelling and Georg Hegel. Absolute is opposite to relative. To be relative means to stand in a relation to something else. We stand in a relation to air because we breathe it. We stand in a relation to other persons since we are born from them and live with them. To stand in a relation to something therefore means to be dependent and determined by something else. We should take the terms depend and determine in the broadest possible sense. For example, we depend on the air to breathe, or on the others to be born, learn a language, and in general live as social beings. Because of this, we are also determined by others, from the fact that our bodies are formed in a way that presupposes oxygen, to the fact that our identities are often based on the culture we live in, on our upbringing, experiences, and our need to be recognized by others. Something absolute is unrelated to anything else. The term absolute has roots in Latin, from absolvere, which means to set free, acquit, release something. For example, we receive absolution for our sins from the priest. We become absolved and freed from guilt. Something absolute is free from all relations to others. Its existence is not dependent on something else, nor is it determined by anything but itself. The absolute is completely self-sufficient. Another meaning of the term absolute is to be complete. In German, for example, absolvieren means to complete something. Someone absolviert his studies, meaning he completed his studies. This meaning is closely related to the first one. Something that stands in a relation to others and is dependent on them is never fully complete. A human being is not a finished product, but always subject to change and transformation based on its interaction with others. Our bodies change constantly, as do our personalities. Now, in the context of philosophical debates, especially during the period of German idealism, the most important question was, how would an absolute consciousness look like? Human consciousness needs external data to operate. When we think about something, we think about something, which is out there. Our consciousness, in other words, is related to something outside of itself. Therefore, our thinking is dependent and determined by outside things. As opposed to this, absolute consciousness would not need external sense data. It could think without pre-existing objects. How could this be? Well, absolute consciousness would in effect create that which it thinks. Basically, such a consciousness would create things merely by thinking. You imagine something, you create it. And this is how philosophers often imagine God, as absolute consciousness that creates the world by thinking it. But is there something absolute in nature? Are some natural laws absolute in the sense that nothing could change them and no relation would determine them? We should remember that natural laws are still laws of something, so they depend on that of which they are a law. An absolute does not need anything whatsoever for its existence, not even subordinate things over which it would rule. So, is there a natural law which is absolute? And indeed, is God then absolute? If he created the world, did he need the world, and is he determined by it? Does he need our recognition to be God, or could God have just been God without the world? Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.